This phrase flying monkey has become the name of those amongst us who report back to your narcissistic abuser so that they can spy and keep control of you even when you're not with them. I've seen up to 9 types of flying monkeys described, but I think this is far too complicated. For me, there are just 2 types. These are malignant flying monkeys and non-malignant flying monkeys. We could call them enablers if you wish, as they seem to enable the abuse to expand and continue. Now I'm going to delve a little deeper into the explanation of them and then give you some ideas on how to recognize and how to deal with them. So, non-malignant flying monkeys have been gaslit and convinced that they are doing the right thing by reporting back to your abuser. They do this in a naive but helpful way, as they see your particular behavioral narcissist, your abuser, as doing all the right things to look after you. They themselves do not seek to harm others. They may be misled, coerced, motivated by loyalty, fear, guilt, favor, or just plain lack of awareness. You may want to call that thick. I don't. Remember, your abuser is good at being out and about in public. They have cultivated a wider audience to keep you under control. The other motive, of course, for them is so that they widen their search for a replacement for you. Chances are they'll try a few and see how it works out. Remember, they have no morals to speak of. The issue is that you may feel a little taken in by a non-malignant flying monkey and end up talking about things you would not want reported back to your abuser. They will love and respect your behavioral narcissist and trust their judgment. The chances are they simply do not understand the harm being done or, as said, trust your abuser's version of the events. There may also be a social aspect here, a fear of missing out, what we call FOMO, so they conform to who they see as the strongest. This gives them the thought that they are also protecting themselves. They are not cruel people, but they repeat and amplify your abuser's stories, but without any inventive cruelty. They also serve as intermediaries or messengers, helping to enforce the boundaries on behalf of your abuser. Now, if you could convince them that they could become allies, then they are willing to listen. But remember how weak they are and where they showed their original allegiance. Probably not as good idea to do this, but it is worth mentioning to you anyway. I would never do that. The common or garden malignant flying monkey takes sadistic pleasure from your discomfort. Completely different to the non-malignant. They will spring from a personal vendetta or just plain opportunism to side with the bully, just as the scrawny kid did on the school playground. They use your behavioral narcissistic abuser's agenda to settle scores or even gain power. They may have personality traits like callousness and aggression that align very much so with your abuser's personality. Typically, they will attack, humiliate or sabotage you, often even adding a gripe or two of their own. They are persistent in their harassment, using intimidation, the law, or even physical threats. Just like your abuser themselves, this malignant flying monkey is resistant to evidence that contradicts them and may rage at you when challenged. Of course, in the workplace, as well as the family setting, non-malignant enablers maintain a dysfunctional systems through passivity or misguided loyalty, whilst the malignant enablers intensify abuse and block resolution. Both types preserve the status quo, of course, but with different ethical weight. I can remember some years ago seeing a talk given by an evangelist American preacher. The guy was absolutely brilliant. And I can't remember his name, but I do remember he talked about in any group, even chickens, there will be a chicken and a king chicken. So even in amongst chickens, there is a hierarchy. So when you try and alter your position in your group, whether it's family or work environment or even at home, there will be trouble to deal with. The group are losing their chicken and they don't like it. They need you there to pick at. In response to non-malignant flying monkeys, my first thought is don't engage. Never tell them anything you don't want them to know, and don't want them to pass back to your abuser. Some of my clients, though, on occasion have worked a full story backed through a non-malignant flying monkey to prove that there is a link back to their abuser. Remembering this, if you try and communicate clearly and calmly, present verifiable facts and timelines, you must also try to avoid shaming them. It will help reduce their defensiveness. If you're up for it, try and see if you can make offers of ways they could withdraw and also save their integrity, or even perhaps become a double agent. The most important point to remember is to maintain your boundaries with them. The rule of thumb here is do not tell them anything you wouldn't want to go back to your abuser. If you are trying to deal with a malignant flying monkey, you must prioritize your safety. No, I'm not kidding. Be careful of what we would call document abuse. Never let them anything near of yours or it's on paper, and especially do not let them see your phone screen. And of course, never let them handle it. It is sensible to limit your contact with these people. You will know who they are, so reduce or remove the contact if possible. Non-malignant flying monkeys will possibly change when confronted with clear evidence, new social incentives, or when the abuser's credibility begins to crumble. But malignant flying monkeys are resistant to reform. They won't change. And meaningful change requires structural consequences like loss of friendship status with your abuser. If the abuser is failing, they may even seek to replace them. My final thoughts are for you to concentrate on the differences between malignant and non-malignant flying monkeys. This is vital to your well-being, and this will guide you to take some of the control of your life back from them. Non-malignant flying monkeys or enablers are potentially repairable, but the malignant ones are not. Maintain your boundaries with both of them. Really, finally again, remember the best and useful first boundary you are likely to be creating. It's a simple word. Just say no to something you don't want. You don't have to give an excuse. You don't have to give a reason. Just say, no, I do not want to do that. That's your first boundary if you haven't already got it. That's it for this. Thank you for listening. I'll be seeing you again soon.